Should we start?
I think so.
Well, what's up, everybody? And welcome back to the BallGame podcast. I am the innocent bystander, Matt Solomon.
I'm Trunks.
I'm Dean.
I'm Ortiz. I'm Chris.
Yeah. So I looked at the screen. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? But yeah, I just got to get used to that intro. Well, last night was Thursday Night Football, the second Thursday Night Football of the NFL season, and we got a matchup of the 2-0 Philadelphia Eagles now and the 0-2 Minnesota Vikings. 34-28 was the final. The Philadelphia Eagles got a needed W, even though it's the beginning of the season. The offense looked more cohesive than it did in the first game of the season against the New England Patriots. The Minnesota Vikings, the turnover luck, it's killing them. So far, 2 games, they've lost the turnover battle by 3 in both of these 2 games, and it seems to be their Achilles heel through both of the 2 games. As the first game they lost in a 1-score game, and this game as well, a 1-score game. Last season, if you guys recall, the Vikings finished the season 11-0 in 1-score games, and then lost in the playoffs in a 1-score game. This season, they have now had 2 1-score games and are already 0-2 in both of them. So the luck has turned around. The Minnesota Vikings seem to be what we thought they were, and that is a fluke from last season. So what are our thoughts on this game? What are our takeaways? First thing that comes to your mind in terms of this game. Let's go. Trunks, what you got?
The Eagles' defense is amazing. First off, Jalen Carter looked great. They were stopping the Vikings, pressuring Kirk Cousins a lot. The Eagles kept running the ball a lot. And honestly, to me, Jalen Hurts didn't really look completely as comfortable as he did last season the first 2 games because he just wasn't throwing as much. But, like, when they're able to run the ball like they did, why would you, I guess, at the same time?
So their defense played well?
Thought they pressured pretty well.
Kirk had 364 and 4 touchdowns,
It seems to not have mattered
bro.
that they pressured really well, honestly.
And also, Vikings offensive line was beaten up, and Kirk still went for 364 and 4. But I will say the Eagles defense was banged up in this game as well. But they definitely did not have a good defensive game. So that's just not accurate there, buddy.
Go home.
I'll go home.
Fuck you. You're
home.
wrong.
I think
You're wrong.
I think that the thing that jumps off the page immediately, I think this is super obvious. These 2 offenses operate completely differently. The Philadelphia Eagles rushed the ball 48 times last night compared to the Minnesota Vikings, just only 9. They didn't even hit 10 carries. Alexander Madison carried the ball 8 times for 28 yards compared to DeAndre Swift getting the ball 28 times for 175. The score was close, but you have Kirk Cousins slinging the ball 44 times, and as talented as his receivers are, it's tough to win a game that way when the defense knows exactly what you're going to do every time. Although it did work, it's not in close games. It's you're not going to beat a team like the Eagles that way. You know, you need a competitive balance, and I think the Eagles had exactly that. The Eagles throw the ball when they need to. They're very efficient when they do, and it seems that DeAndre Swift is back. That's what last night told me. It seems that DeAndre Swift, that the Eagles are comfortable giving him the ball that many times, and they're comfortable with how he's running the ball. And obviously, he showed out.
That man has, it seems, one game every year where it's like, wow, DeAndre Swift is really like so damn good at football. And then it just seems like the next game he gets injured or something happens and stuff like that. So I'm hoping for a healthy season out of DeAndre Swift. That's the DeAndre Swift that we expected the Eagles would get. And yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. They operate on 2 completely different tones on offense. I mean, the Vikings don't even show a commitment to running the ball. And that's part of the issue. Like, I get it. I understand if you're just getting stuffed up. And this Eagles defense is phenomenal against the run. Do not get me wrong. But you're not even trying. You don't even attempt it. And you had 4 fumbles yesterday. Alexander Madison had 1. Kirk had 1. The Justin Jefferson one is so tough. And then obviously 1 on the return from Powell. But yeah, I mean, you don't even show a commitment to the run game. And that, like, what is that supposed to do? These pass rushers are pinning their ears back. Not only are they good in the first place, obviously, then you just allow them to say, okay, they're not going to run the ball. And even if they do, they're not a threat. And they're just coming at Kirk in waves. And honestly, Kirk is probably the toughest quarterback in the entire NFL because last season hit the most in the entire league. This season, probably going to be similar. So, Ortiz, what's one takeaway from you for this game?
I actually think Kirk Cousins looked, besides for the fumble, and the turnover problem has been a problem for the Vikings, obviously. But Kirk looked good. He looked really good yesterday. 364, 4 touchdowns. Only got sacked twice, which is crazy because Daniil Hunter himself had 3 sacks.
Yep.
But it's just tough. As Dean said, they're a very one-dimensional team. It's hard to beat a team as versatile as the Eagles when you're only doing one thing over and over and over again, as you touched on. It's just really hard to win a football game. And the score, it says it's a one-score game, but I feel like the Eagles had complete control over this game the entire time.
At no
The
point,
Vikings
yeah.
scored that late touchdown real late, like a minute left in the fourth. So
It's hard to win a game when you have the ball for half the amount of time that the other team does. Time of possession for the Eagles was almost 40 minutes. Time of possession for the Vikings was 20.
Right, and you got to think about the amount of times that there's an incomplete pass and the clock stops. The Eagles only had 5 incomplete passes, so every time they would rush the ball 48 times, the clock goes on and on and on and on and on and on, and you control the pace of the game. I think the Minnesota Vikings are. I think the loss of Dalvin Cook is deeper than people might have suggested initially. I know everyone was high on Alexander Madison, and it's a game planning problem. It's a play calling problem. But you have no dependable rusher on that team.
I don't even think it's the loss of Dalvin Cook because last season they also were really bad at running the football and didn't really show commitment to running the football last year. But I get what you're saying. Just the name value in and of itself, too, does make a bit of a difference.
Right. At least the Philadelphia Eagles would have to game plan for Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, but regardless, this team, no matter if you brought Dalvin back or not, there's no commitment to the run game. And there wasn't last year either, and you're just not seeing that. And Kirk Cousins has to throw the ball 40 to 50 times every single game. Like, you're not – granted, their passing game is elite. You have a guy named Justin Jefferson who's the best wide receiver in the NFL currently. You have T.J. Hawkinson who had a great game. Jordan Addison, weekly bombs now, I guess, and then he'll eventually work his way into even more and more snaps, as he should. KJ Osborne had 2 drops yesterday, one of which was a really fucking bad drop on like a 20-yard crosser. But all in all, you're not going to win. You're not going to win this way. As the Minnesota Vikings, you're just not going to win this way. Last season was a fluke. We all knew that. You're not going 11-0 in one-score games. Now you're 0-2 in one-score games, and the luck was going to reverse. If you can't play defense, if you can't run the football, you're not winning games. You're just not. Chris, what's a takeaway from you for this game?
I mean, you guys said everything. Turnovers and time of possession. That's pretty much it. The Vikings have to find a way to protect the ball, or it's going to be a lot of losses this season. It's as simple as that. Kirk could play as well as he wants to play. If they're not going to protect the ball and help him out, it's going to be a long season. Eagles look dominant. Not much to take away from the Eagles.
Yeah, I thought the Eagles had a lot of starters out, namely James Bradbury. Fletcher Cox missed this game as well. Avonte Maddox went down. Fletcher Cox was out there?
Fletcher Cox played yesterday.
I swear to God, I thought he was on a snap count or out, to be completely honest, because I know he was injured.
He had 2 QB hits.
I know for sure that he was coming into this week injured. I thought they were sitting him. I didn't even realize he was out there. Jalen Carter is insane also, by the way. And the interior of the Vikings offensive line is a weak spot. It's been injured.
I thought Jordan Davis looked phenomenal in this game. He had that one play early on in the game in the first quarter. He just got an instant pressure on Kirk and sent him into the ground. I think Kirk still completed the pass, but he instantly shed the block. It was pretty crazy.
Their interior of the D-line is ridiculous. Their edge rushers are ridiculous. When they're healthy, they're going to be a terrifying defense. The Kobe Dean, I know, missed this game. They're banged up, and that's fine because you have the best front 7 in all of football on defense and the best offensive line in all of football. It's just that simple. So I don't know. A.J. Brown, did everyone see that? A.J. Brown was
Had a bit of a meltdown on the
a little
sideline.
aggravated on the side.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was a meltdown. He was a little aggravated on the sideline. I don't put too much stock into it, but
What was the problem?
Just the way the game script was. They were
Yeah.
throwing the
Well,
ball. He wasn't
yeah.
getting any
He wasn't
targets.
getting the ball.
Yeah, but according
They
to,
weren't throwing the ball at all. So how's he
According-
going to get it if they're not throwing it?
I didn't love that he was complaining about it. You're winning the game, and Devontae Smith was dominating downfield. 2 massive receptions, especially. I don't know. I don't put stock into it. They'll be fine.
Receiver is one of those positions where you have to almost anticipate sometimes not getting the ball, just the way the game is going. Is you're playing wide receiver. You're depending on another player getting you the ball every single time.
When you're one of those alphas, though, they always demand the ball.
Yeah.
I understand, but going into the season, I feel like Devontae Smith, him coming into his own, can almost create a 1A, 1B scenario with the Eagles. So, who knows if A.J. Brown's going to be receptive to that kind of thing. And we saw last night, I guess, that, his emotions kind of got the best of him, knowing that even though he got more targets than Devontae Smith, he was just having a better game.
Yeah, again, I'm not putting anything into it until it, becomes a consistent problem. And I'm sure that they'll always scheme A.J. Brown targets, scheme him touches, all that stuff. Like, I'm sure they will. But at the same time, it was something. It wasn't nothing. So that was still there. That was still a little bit of a distraction on the sideline that Nick Sirianni had to come in the middle of it and talk about it a little bit. But yeah, so Jalen Hurts said afterwards, it's nothing. It's not a big deal. And I'm going to take it as such. The Eagles are 2-0, and they haven't even played good football yet, to be entirely honest, which is a terrifying thought. Realistically, so how good this team can be is on another level, and we haven't seen the best of the Philadelphia Eagles, and 2-0 start. So that's that. But yeah, a lot of games coming up this Sunday. We covered all of those on Tuesday. If you guys want to go back, check that out. We picked.
We didn't.
No, we didn't.
We didn't do that.
We didn't cover that.
Nope. The title
wow.
of this podcast is Eagles Vikings recap, NFL Week 2 pick'em, NBA small forward tier list.
Wow, I am off today. But yeah, so a lot of games coming up this week. We spoke about some of the stuff from last week, so be sure to check that out. That's what we did on Tuesday, not this. So, as I said, plenty of games, plenty of entertaining games, and a lot of games that I'm very close on in terms of who I'm going to pick. By the way, who did we pick for the Survivor pool? I'm just wondering. I took the Bills.
I honestly didn't make my selection yet.
I never entered.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
wow.
bad. I picked the
I
Giants.
can't believe it. So, what was
Really?
the
You're riding with my guys?
You just
I wrote
forgot
a,
to end
close.
the score.
So here's my
I just
plan.
never got
Wow.
around to it.
2 conversations at
Yeah.
once.
Here's my plan. So I wrote out a full season-long schedule plan thing, and how it fell was that I had to pick the Giants this week. If I'm gonna have my best chance at winning, I have to pick all the teams anyway that I'm gonna pick. It just fell that way. My
Okay.
best chance of winning is if the Giants win this week.
Okay.
So
Got you. Yeah, it was
so
tough.
beta, bro, to make a whole season long plan.
I want to win.
Yeah, me and Chris
It's
talked
the
about it.
fucking NFL. Everything changes week to week.
That's fine.
Me and Chris were talking
I'd
about
rather
it.
have, I'd rather have a plan though.
That's
That's
shit so fast.
I'd rather have a plan.
One injury to a quarterback.
Well,
your
yeah, and then
season-long
at that
plan
point,
goes
then
to
I'd
dog shit.
yeah, but then I'd switch something up.
So I was gonna say you're Mally, but you're not gonna just stick to one thing.
No, of course not.
no,
Things can
if
change.
Things change, obviously.
So you have like an outline of what you want to do.
I definitely didn't make an outline because I don't care enough to do
I
that.
think it's smart.
I could see that.
It's not.
I can
who
see you
thinks
holding
it's
on-
smart necessarily.
I think the only smart thing about that is if you want to hold on to a good team for a really good matchup. That's the only thing that I would say.
yeah, that's the point.
I think you could find those during the week though.
Yeah,
but then at that
then you get
point-
to week 10 and you're like, oh, I already used that team 7 weeks ago. I didn't think about this.
Yeah.
In week 10, you have
It
to
makes
choose
sense.
2 teams.
But that's why you think in the moment, can I save this team for later?
Or I could just do it beforehand and plan what I want to do.
Nah, I don't think it matters.
You guys are
I just go off vibes, bro.
You
It
guys
is
are
what
being,
it is.
you guys are being silly.
So you're going with the Bills?
I am taking the Bills.
Oh, you're going with the Giants.
Yeah.
First, do you have any idea who you're
I'm
going?
going with the Bills.
Bills? Yeah. I'm leaning between the Bills or the Chargers. I don't know yet.
I was thinking Chargers too,
I
but
don't
I didn't
know
end
yet.
up doing it. But here we go. We'll get into this. So we'll talk about some of the teams that we think are going to win this week. So with the first matchup, we'll get into that after. With the first matchup, we have the Green Bay Packers at the Atlanta Falcons. 1:00 game. Who do we got?
I have the Dirty Birds at home.
I'm also
Okay.
taking the Falcons this week. I think it's going to be a close game.
I think they covered the spread, though.
I like Green Bay. I still think they have a really good team. I think Jordan Love is still really, really good. I like what I saw out of Aaron Jones last week. Yeah, Christian Watson comes back, right? Christian Watson comes back.
No,
Mm,
most
I don't know.
likely
Aaron
not.
Jones might be hurt too.
They both haven't
Yeah.
practiced.
Hamstring issues. They
All
are
right.
not
well, if
practicing
those two
this
guys
week.
play, I think the Green Bay Packers win.
If they were playing, I'd agree, but they're not. I'm going to take the Falcons at home. And I think that the Packers are going to potentially force Desmond Ridder to throw the ball a lot more this week. So that's a tough one for me.
Yeah, I'm going to rock with the Falcons. That defense is going to give Jordan Love problems, whoever Jordan Love is.
So the second game, we have the 0-1 Los Angeles Chargers against the 0-1 Tennessee Titans. The Chargers are currently 3-point favorites on FanDuel. Who do we got?
Going the Chargers.
I also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, go.
No, you speak.
No, I just thought they looked really good last week against the Dolphins. They didn't come out on top, but I think they'll be able to beat the Titans team who did not look good at all with Ryan Tannehill as their quarterback.
Jesus Christ, he's the worst player in the NFL.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with going with the Chargers here. I have the Chargers Dolphins in my AFC Championship. So.
Do we know what's up with Eckler? I know he missed. I know his
Personal
stuff.
issues and ankle.
His
so
agent passed, unfortunately.
really, that's what it was.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that's what I read.
So that was his agent. Okay, I saw that stuff. I didn't know that was.
I don't know if
Eckler's
he's gonna be out. I
agent.
mean, Josh Kelly looked good regardless.
Really good, yeah.
And they sling the ball 1,000 times. So
I don't think the Titans are the type of team that's going to threaten them either way.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think the Chargers are gonna be good either way.
So I'm definitely picking the Chargers. It seems as though the one weakness of the Chargers defense is getting beat down the field, and it doesn't seem as though the Titans can do that. So I'm taking the Chargers in this game.
I'm going to take the Titans. I think the Chargers' offense looked pretty mid against what seems to be weak Miami Dolphins defense. The only thing that looked good for them was running the ball, and they're not going to run the ball like that on the Titans' D-line. So I think it's going to be a slugfest, and I think the Titans come out on top. I don't think they're going to have an answer for Derrick Henry. Chargers defense sucks fucking cock.
I
It didn't look good.
think they're actually better at stopping the run now than they are at stopping the pass. Personally, they've gotten beat on explosive plays the last 2 seasons, especially. Their run defense has actually improved immensely. Granted, week one,
It was good in week one, but the Dolphins also don't have a really good rushing attack. Last year wasn't good, their run defense.
it wasn't that bad last year. It improved. It wasn't the worst in the NFL. I can
It
assure
definitely
you of
wasn't
that.
the worst in the NFL, but it was bottom 5.
And it's only gotten better. So because you've added Eric Kendricks, who's a great run stuffing linebacker. I just don't.
Definitely a bad run defense. Like
You can't. Who's testing these guys? Ryan Tannehill can't even throw the football.
Derrick Henry.
I don't think you're gonna be able to just. Bro, they will load up on Derrick Henry and not respect anything else because DeAndre Hopkins might even miss this game.
We've seen teams load up on Derrick Henry multiple times, and he still will go for 200 yards. It's
I'd
Derrick
send,
Henry.
I'd
He's the
send
king.
8 at him. I'm not threatened by Treylon Burks. I'm not threatened by Chig.
I'm threatened by DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Hop
there's
is
that
gonna
guy.
probably. Hop is injured right now. He's dealing with an injury at the current moment. So I'm not threatened by anyone on this team. And plus, even if it is DeAndre Hopkins, if it's limited DeAndre Hopkins, I'm not concerned. So I think the Chargers honestly beat them by 2 touchdowns or more. So
I'm 100% taking the Chargers in this game. Not even thinking twice about it.
So next up, we have the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts.
Chargers were the 3rd worst run defense last year. So they weren't the worst.
They weren't the worst.
You got him there, bro.
They're improving. And I think in week 1, they look good. Again, as you said, against Miami, rushing attack that isn't amazing, but I don't know. I think they stuffed Derrick Henry up a little bit this game. Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts. Texans are currently, it's a pick'em game essentially. 1.5 point favorites. Who do we got?
I'm going with the Colts here. I think Anthony Richardson has a really breakout game here, I feel, after being QB1 last week.
He was really fucking good.
He was
Yeah.
good last week for sure. And that's why I'm picking Indianapolis this week. Their run game was pretty bad outside of Anthony Richardson. Deion Jackson looked absolutely garbage.
13 for 14.
Pretty terrible. But Anthony Richardson looked a lot better throwing the ball than I anticipated. Michael Pittman got really involved. You just like to see Anthony Richardson spread the ball around a little bit more, and they'll be able to get going. But I think a team like the Texans is a good way to get that started.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also going with the Colts. They looked really respectable last week against the Jaguars. They stayed competitive in that game for most of the game. Yeah, they honestly look like a team that could be a little better than everyone expected. So I'm going the Colts this week.
This is tough. I'm also going to take the Colts, and I think it's a close game as expected. It's tough. I don't even have reasoning. I just think
It's a pick'em game.
It's
like
a
you
pick'em
said.
game. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's tough.
I'm
I'm
going with
taking
the
the Colts.
Texans. I think C.J. Stroud looks better in week 2. I think that Texans defense could low-key give Anthony Richardson and the Colts problems. I liked what I saw out of the Texans defense in week 1 low-key. So I'm going to rock with the Texans.
All right, here we go. Next up, we have the Seattle Seahawks, who, let me give some context, are most likely missing both of their starting offensive tackles this coming week. They are currently 4.5-point underdogs at the Detroit Lions. Who do we got?
This is tough. I'm still gonna lean Lions, for sure. I think the Lions. I think Jared Goff looked really good. I think Jared Goff, all he needs to do is not turn the ball over. And he doesn't have to do much else. Their run game looked good.
Oh, Drew's in here. What up, Drew? I know
Yo.
Sleazy.
What's up, Drew?
What's
going on,
What's up,
guys?
Sleazy?
And Amon-Ra looked great. I think their offense is just really, really good. And I think missing both tackles is going to give the Seahawks a big problem. I think Aiden Hutchinson's going to have a great game, obviously.
Yeah. I think piggybacking off last week's win against the defending Super Bowl champions.
Hutchinson looked great last week.
He looked-
and
he
against
looked
the
really
backup
good.
tackle, he's going to have a field day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Against the tackle that was, playing illegally pretty much
Right.
in
Yeah.
Jawan Taylor. So,
Right, and he
He's-
still got destroyed.
yeah, and he was still, creating havoc on that defense. I take Detroit in this game. I think if both tackles are going to be out, which it seems likely that's going to be the case, especially since Seattle is adding Jason Peters to the practice squad and stuff like that. 41-year-old Jason Peters, might I add. I think it's going to be the Detroit defense is going to show out. At least the defensive line needs to play well. I still think that Seattle's weapons are very intimidating, obviously, but I'm going to take Detroit. I think they do enough to hold off Seattle.
I agree with you. Yeah, I'm taking the Lions. It sucks because I feel like we all had the Seahawks having a good season this season, and having them start out 0-2 kind of sucks for them. But
Injuries suck too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm going the Lions though. They just looked really good. Their D-line last week against the Chiefs, and I think it's gonna continue this week.
It's really just Aiden.
Yeah,
Aiden's just a
yeah.
baller.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he was
think
pressuring them. He was pressuring the Chiefs
Aiden's
pressuring
a
Patrick Mahomes
baller.
every play, pretty much.
Aiden's
so.
a baller.
I think the Lions are going to piggyback off that momentum from last week and just carry into this week.
2-0 start to the season for the
I'm
Detroit
gonna
Lions.
rock with the Seahawks, bro. I had high expectations for the Seahawks. If I want those expectations to come to fruition, they need to get back this week. So I expect Geno and the boys to come out guns blazing and expose a weak Detroit Lions secondary.
Okay, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 1-0 at home against the 0-1 Chicago Bears. The Bucs are currently 2.5-point favorites. I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this game.
Agreed.
I just think the Bears are a bad football team. Romeo Doubs had 2 touchdowns on this team last week. I mentioned that in my stardom sit-em. I think Mike Evans has a big game. I think Chris Godwin has a big game. Baker really didn't look all that bad. I will say one thing. This Tampa rushing offense is atrocious, and it's not going to be getting
Rashad
any
White
better.
Didn't
If
look as
there
good as I
what
thought
if
he
there
would.
is a breakout game that's possible for Rashad White, it is this game. And this is I don't think he's a good running back by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. He confirmed that in week 1. But I'm still taking the Buccaneers.
I agree. I also think their defense is going to show out this week against the Bears. So I'm taking the Bucs.
I cannot wait. I can't wait till the Buccaneers eclipse their
Win
line.
total?
Wasn't
6.5.
And I proved to what I made a bet with somebody, right?
Me, yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait till that happens and Baker Mayfield wins me $50.
They're gonna start 2-0.
Predictions, you doubled back.
You did.
You did, but we still
the
have the
bet
bet
still
there.
stands.
The bet still stands.
The
And
bet still
it's okay.
stands, which is fair.
And Baker
but
Mayfield
you
is
didn't
going to
have the-
win me some money.
you didn't have the faith in your conviction, number 1. And number 2, it's through 2 games. The schedule will get harder. Granted, this division is relatively easy, if we're
Baker
being
is
honest.
on his way back. Baker is the man.
Bro, you
Baker's in.
literally walked it back and said, I don't know how I feel about Baker,
So
actually.
he was a little scared, but
He got
come on,
scared.
come on, bro.
but being
Have
but
faith
be-
in your conviction.
And I'm
it's
having
okay.
faith.
He had faith. He put money on it.
I did.
It's okay.
I put my money where my mouth
It's
is.
just
Yeah.
weird how he doubled down the opposite way and cut their win percentage in half. He
It's
said,
okay.
"Oh, 6.5 wins. I have the over. 3
I think
wins.
it's, I
the
think
next
it's okay
week."
because he had the money on it. It's all right.
I mean, I don't care. It's not my money.
I shook on Baker, and I don't
bro,
shake
I'm
on
standing
everybody.
on it. That's
Okay,
fine. I don't
okay.
care. I'm just saying.
Trade for Baker right now, New York Jets.
I
Joe Douglas hit the
don't
line.
think that's a bad idea.
Anyway.
But then you're going to lose your bet, so congrats on
true.
that one.
Don't
so.
care.
No, they'll get Zach Wilson. Just swap.
My favorite team winning is more important than a $50 bet. Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
bro.
Regardless, I think the Bucks win this game. Although I will say, I do think Justin Fields is a better game. If after the game they actually ended up saying that they were way too conservative. They think they were too conservative in this game. I mean, I'd like to think you were too conservative in a game where you called at least 15 designed screens. So yeah, you were probably a little too fucking conservative. Also, why is Justin Fields only getting 2 design runs? What are we doing? Take advantage of what this guy can fucking do well. So
I think they know they're not that good, and I think they want to protect him.
protect him from what, bro? You don't even know if this guy is your franchise quarterback right now.
I get that.
And you
I
might
think,
end up
but I
with
think
the-
they have the idea that he is.
I
think
don't
they-
agree.
You don't think
You're
so?
going to end
You
up
think-
with 2 2 picks probably in the top 5. You're not going to fucking keep him if you have the chance of Caleb.
Sorry, I know we're talking about Justin Fields, but Chase Claypool bothers
Oh my
me
God.
so much.
Man, he
watching
looked
that,
good.
watching him play football
doesn't
actually
care.
makes me upset. It makes me actually angry and mad. It's pretty terrible that they traded basically a
first-round pick.
the 32nd overall pick in that draft for Chase Claypool. Man, what did they see in him before? Honestly, on the Steelers,
It was
he
the one game.
the
one game.
That's actually what it was, because that man gives no effort. Wasn't giving effort on
He's
the Steelers.
TikTok. He is TikTok boy.
He still isn't giving effort on the Bears, and it just boggles my mind how they first of all made that trade. Second of all, they're not benching him. He's still out there,
Yeah.
just giving no effort. If you're the coach of that team, I would sit his butt right on the bench right now.
Him blocking the run.
Oh my fucking God. The one where he got blown up
Bro.
made me so happy.
Yeah, such minimal effort, and then you have Deuce just literally running through him.
He has talent. He's a talented receiver. Just do the thing.
He's not really I wouldn't say he's a good receiver. He's
has-
just a freakish athlete.
Yeah, he has the intangibles to be a good receiver.
Yes, but he doesn't seem to give a fuck
has-
about being great.
No, he has the body, he has the height, he has everything going for him. He has the hands. He just doesn't put the work.
Which pisses me off too, because like people obviously call Juju TikTok boy and stuff, and I get it. But Juju's had so much success in this league. Like Chase Claypool's the only one in this league
he just
that
had
we
a good
could
career.
No,
refer
I mean,
to as.
respectfully, Juju is TikTok boy.
He is.
That
He
boy,
is.
he danced on every
But he's
logo
good
in
at.
the
But people
NFL.
were clowning him like he wasn't good at football.
He just
I
won a
didn't.
Super Bowl.
I honestly didn't mind
He
him
did
doing
win a
that.
Super Bowl.
I didn't mind. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like,
It
but he has to
seemed-
show out on the field if he's doing it. You know what I mean? He can't suck. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
kind
No,
of
I
the
agree.
point, Trunks.
I
Yeah.
remember,
But-
I remember he danced on the Bengals logo and then got fucking
Yeah.
written, bro.
I thought it was kind of funny that he was doing it. I don't know.
So
didn't hate it.
everyone,
So funny, bro.
Is
You
everyone-
I didn't
suck.
hate it.
Is everyone here taking Tampa?
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield could read any defense. I'm going with the Bucks.
I'd like to guess he would pick Chicago if he was here, to be honest, because Fields is his guy.
Also,
But
did you believe what Baker was saying for the game? How in the second half, how he came in and he was reading the defense perfectly.
yes, how he said he knew everything
every
they were
play.
running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Baker, look, he's an idiot, but he's also very intelligent. Like, Baker is a very smart quarterback. Although he makes terrible decisions sometimes, he knows how to read coverages. This guy was a Heisman for a reason. He was the #1 overall pick for a reason. He ended up leading the Browns and broke their playoff curse for a reason. This is a good quarterback. At some point in his life, he has been a really fucking good quarterback.
Yeah.
So I don't doubt that could still be in there somewhere,
I
but
think it is.
we'll see.
It's better than like Zach Wilson.
He's got weapons. He's got two big time
That's
weapons.
actually not saying anything. Saying anybody's better than Zach Wilson is saying you might as well have not spoken. You might as well not even open your mouth. Like for real, for real.
Can't believe there's the Aaron Rodgers shrine back there.
We
All
could
right.
still have that, yeah.
Let's move on from this game. We'll go to the next one. The Buffalo Bills are hosting the Las Vegas Raiders, coming off of a horrific L this past week. The Raiders obviously got their W. The Bills, lost on a punt return in overtime against the New York Jets.
Against
After
Zach Wilson.
Josh
might I add.
Allen threw 3 fucking picks, 2 of them being the worst decisions I think I've ever seen.
And had a fumble.
And had a fumble as well.
In-
4
in-
turnovers,
in clutch
Josh.
time.
4 turnovers, Josh.
All 3 of them all within I think the end of the third quarter.
That one fumble, he missed the snap,
Dropped
the
it,
ball.
picked it up.
and still fumbled.
Yeah.
He played horrible. That being said, I'm taking the Bills.
With
this
that
week.
being said, I think
Yeah.
the Bills win by fucking 3 possessions.
Stephon
Yes.
Diggs looks so good.
I'm
Stephon Diggs
putting-
is so good at football, bro.
They're gonna get their get back this week.
I'm putting the
easily.
house on the Bills spread.
Yeah.
Josh
I don't know
is
about that.
going
No,
to
yeah, the
play
spread.
pissed the fuck off this
Yeah,
week, I think.
yeah.
Which could be a really good thing or a really bad thing.
And
Might just
also,
dolphin dive into more defenders.
the Raiders' defense is not the Jets.
It's no.
Yeah.
It's not.
And also, Josh Allen just is really bad against the Jets. So
Maybe the Raiders defense is better than we think, or maybe just the Broncos offense from last week is just
I think the Broncos
bad as
continue
we
to
think they are.
prove that they're just not that good of a football team.
I think
Drew, if you're still in here, sorry,
I-
buddy.
No, I think the Broncos turned around. I think it was just the week 1. I mean,
They've
week
shown me
1,
nothing.
I think it was a
Our
mix of
teams,
both.
They've showed me nothing.
I don't know.
well,
they
they
continue to show me nothing.
only played 1 game.
So maybe the Raiders defense is a little better than we think it is, but we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out for damn sure against an offense that can be explosive when it's at its best. So we'll see what ends up happening here. But I think we're all taking the Bills
Yes.
in a pretty handily won game. I
Yes.
think. Next up, the Kansas City Chiefs go on the road against the 1-0 Jacksonville Jaguars. The Chiefs are looking to get their get back this week as Travis Kelce and Chris Jones, your 2 most important players, I'd say, outside of the guy named Patrick Mahomes. And now the Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites on the road. Who
That
do we
being
got?
said, I'm
Travis playing?
Travis playing.
He still
I'm
is
gonna-
questionable.
Trav apparently has practiced in almost full. He's been landing on the knee. He looks fine. Apparently, in all the practices, he's just going to wear a brace.
Yeah.
From what I've heard. So
So with them being back, I'm gonna take the Chiefs. I don't see them starting the season 0-2. I really just don't. So taking the Chiefs in this one.
I think they'll be fine, but I'm taking Jacksonville in this game at home. I think Trevor Lawrence looked great. I think Calvin Ridley looked absolutely fantastic in his first game back. In his second game, I think he even does better than that. What I called in the beginning of the season, top 5 fantasy receiver. Obviously, fantasy doesn't always translate, but if you're doing good in fantasy as a receiver, you must be doing something good in game. Their defense looked good. I just liked everything about what I saw in Jacksonville. The Chiefs, I know Kelsey's going to be back, but the rest of their offense concerns me a lot. I know it's Patrick Mahomes. The running game didn't look great. Kadarius Toney looked obviously the worst receiver in the league. Sky Morse continues to be underwhelming consistently.
he's not good at
No.
football.
your boy.
Chiefs defense looked
Happens.
okay, but I think the Jacksonville Jaguars firepower on offense is just going to be too much for the Chiefs.
I think the offense for the Chiefs is just gonna look better this week with Travis Kelce back there alone. Like, not saying like Travis Kelce, obviously he's gonna help, but
Just
I'm
the
saying
attention he draws.
having Kadarius Toney as your number 2 option now instead of your number 1. I feel like I think he's gonna have a bounce back game.
I don't
honestly.
even think. I don't
He
even
may
think
not
he's
even
gonna
be the
number
2. I will say,
Yeah.
lock of the week, Kadarius Toney's going to score a fucking touchdown this week.
Well, I think that's going to be important in
His confidence.
that's.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the point in the Chiefs.
I don't think he's going to
100%.
see the field.
I think he most definitely sees
I think,
the field.
I think
They've
if you
given him a
bench
vote of
then you
confidence.
really have destroyed that man's confidence if you bench him this week.
I
And I think that's important for a team that is thin at receiver. I don't think you can just destroy a man's confidence like that.
Rasheed
agree.
Rice needs to see the field more, though. He
Yeah.
looked good in his
Does-
first game.
So does Justin
Does he
Ross.
deserve to be benched? Definitely.
Justin
but
Watson.
considering where the Chiefs are right now
Pretty
in
good.
terms of their depth, I don't think that's really an option.
I agree. I'm with Dean on that.
I don't know
think,
why you put a guy that sucks out. That he was he lost him the game single-handedly.
But
You have
I think
like,
you understand that he's not going to do that again.
I
How do we
think
know
that it's a
that?
vote of
He-
confidence from Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, especially with the way they've been talking this week. Of course, that's what you're supposed to do, but I also think that they know that they need him to be dynamic. In terms of raw potential at the receiver position right now this season, Tony's their best overall option in terms of like what he can be.
If they can unlock Kadarius Toney, he elevates this offense to a whole new level.
I agree.
Agreed.
I think he scored. I don't know if he sees the field that much, but I think he ends up with a touchdown this week. I think it's Andy Reid is going to do everything he can to scheme that up for them. I really do. I think it's just for the confidence of the kid. Like I genuinely do.
Right. Does he any other team most other teams, yeah, Kadarius Toney gets benched.
Agreed.
But you have Patrick Mahomes. And I
Andy
think that
Reid.
makes a difference, a huge difference.
So I think I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs. It's tough though. I was leaning Jags originally, but I'm starting to change my mind a little bit on this. I don't think they start 0-2. I just don't think it happens. So I think the Chiefs end up pulling this one out. And I think the Jags' offensive line looks very weak this. What is that?
I'm unscrewing my mic so I could hold it so I don't block
okay.
his face.
And I just think Chris Jones comes back with a vengeance this week. So,
Vengeance.
and Travis Kelce, vengeance.
Vengeance.
So, who do you got, Chris, in this one? Do we all pick the Chiefs?
No, I picked the Jags.
You picked the Jags.
I'm still on the fence. I really have no idea. I might lean Chiefs simply because Mahomes is. I mean, not Mahomes. Mahomes has been there. Kelsey's back. I wouldn't say it's hard to. This is the Super Bowl team. This team that just won the Super Bowl. It's hard to count them out, especially after they beat this Jacksonville team last year.
Yes.
I'm going to lean Chiefs, but once again, I wouldn't be surprised if Jacksonville wins this game. Both teams are, I think, going to win their. Actually, no, I don't think that. Never mind. Just give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going to rock with the Chiefs. I can't see Patrick Mahomes starting a season out 0-2. I think they're going to get Kelsey back. They get Chris Jones back. They're going to look different this week.
Agreed. Chris, real quick, who do you got in the Bears Tampa Bay game?
The Bucks. The Bears looked like dog shit.
Okay. I honestly thought you were going to go with the Bears. Okay. So the Baltimore Ravens travel on the road to Cincinnati. Cincinnati, another team that looked awful in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
The Bengals are currently 3-point favorites, though, because they are at home. And I think I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens.
I'm gonna take not the Ravens. I'm gonna take the Bengals for the same reason I took the Bills. They just played so horrible last week. I feel like they're gonna get back this week. Plus they're at home. I think they pull out on top.
I think getting Andrews back, if he is playing for sure, I think getting Andrews back is huge. Because it was very obvious that this offense was missing that guy. Like, yes, Zay Flowers was solid, but it was so clear to me that the Ravens offense was missing their clear-cut number 1 in Mark Andrews, and I think just getting him back, in the similar vein of just having Travis Kelce back, it opens up everything else for your offense. I will say I think they definitely struggled to run the ball this week, so I think we'll see a lot more of Lamar being involved in the rushing attack, but I think that defense is legit. Granted, Marcus Williams is out. I think they beat the Bengals by a field goal.
I don't really trust the running game of the Ravens with Justice Hill and Gus Edwards. I think the loss of J.K. Dobbins is pretty significant. I know you're going to run the ball a little bit more at Lamar Jackson. How safe is that? I don't know. You just paid him a lot of money. And I'm going to go with the Bengals. You know, I think T. Higgins gets going. I think that Joe Burrow turns it around for the same reason that Trunks is picking him. Yeah, I mean, I think the Bengals are still a good football team. I think everybody was overreacting week 1. That's exactly what they did last year. Joe Burrow threw 3 picks in the first week last year. I think they'll be just fine.
You too?
It's hard with these AFC North matchups. I feel like it's a dogfight either way. It's always going to be.
It always is.
I don't know.
Unless it's the Browns playing the Bengals.
Unless it's the Browns playing the Bengals in week 1 when it's raining.
Yes.
Yeah. Joe Burrow's very bad in the rain. Clearly.
In general, Cleveland has Joe Burrow's number, but we got.
You brought up a really good point with Mark Andrews coming back. I think it's going to open up the field a lot more for everyone else, especially Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers, I think, is going to have a real big game here. I'm going to take the Ravens also by a field goal.
Nice, man.
I'm going to rock with the Bengals here. No Marcus Williams, no Marlon Humphrey. So I think the Bengals receivers are going to have a big day. Joe Burrow is going to have a big day. I don't think it's going to be particularly close. Still love the Ravens. I think they're going to win the division. But I think the Bengals come out guns blazing.
I think it's a shootout. I do agree. But I think it's a shootout. I think Lamar has a big day. I do. Next up, my squad. Another team looking for a bounce back. They travel to Arizona, and they are currently 4.5-point favorites against the Cardinals. I'm rocking with my Giants this week. If they don't, the season's over. You could close the book on them. The New York Giants are done.
Yeah.
This is the week that you see the type of character that a football team has. How do you bounce back from a 40-0 loss? And the Cardinals didn't look as bad as I figured they would look in week 1. So maybe this is some semblance of a test for the Giants. It could be the ideal bounce back week, so I take the Giants to win this one.
I'm also taking the Giants. They have to win this week. They have to bounce back after a 40-point loss. There's just no way they can lose this game. Like you said, the season is over if they lose.
Do it. I know you want to.
I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals. I think the pressure is too much for the New York Giants coming off a 40-point divisional loss. I think Daniel Jones gets into his head. I think the offensive line crumbles. I think the same old thing happens again. I think the Giants might lead for most of the game, but they're gonna lose it towards the end.
Wow.
I got the Arizona Cardinals.
I mean, I have the New York Giants here. You said, obviously, if they lose, season's over. I think there's not really a lot of pressure on the Giants. They just came off the worst loss in NFL history.
I think that's why there's a lot of pressure
I don't
on
think
the
there's that much
Giants.
pressure. Like, oh, well, we stink. We're not going to do much.
What?
It's week 1
It was week 1.
Week 1, and
against the best D-line in the league.
they did it.
Defense in football.
Right.
If only I knew that stat Trunk said about how no team has done this over the course of a season. The Giants
And
did it all in
Giants
one
did it all
game.
in one game.
I mean, that's pretty crazy. But I'm taking the Giants here. The Cardinals are, I think, superiorly worse.
They didn't look superiorly worse last week.
No, I
I'm
mean,
not
they-
gonna lie.
they didn't.
They played the Commanders really well. They did. But like, bro, your season's on the line. This early in the year, your season is on the line. I don't think there's any pressure on Arizona. I can tell you that much.
No, but that's right.
There is
that's
so
also the
much
thing. They
pressure
know
on the
they're bad.
Giants in this game.
The Giants have playoff aspirations
Yes.
and just got the breaks. They got embarrassed. They got so embarrassed on primetime Sunday night football.
Yeah, thank you. I know.
I don't mean that's not what I'm trying to do to you, bro. I'm just putting the facts out there. I would have said it regardless. Man, there is a ton of pressure on the Giants and Brian
So
Dable
much.
right
So
now.
much right now. You need to show your fucking character this week.
Right.
That's what needs to happen. What type of team are you?
So I'm picking the Cardinals because I think the Giants show what type of team they are. They suck. They're dog shit. The offensive line is dog shit. The Cardinals, I was pleasantly surprised with their game plan against my Commanders. I thought Jonathan Gannon dialed up an awesome defensive game plan. I thought they got pressure. They took advantage of the Commanders' weak offensive line. And the thing is, the Giants' offensive line is even weaker. You have Andrew Thomas dealing with a hamstring injury. Evan Neal fucking sucks. What the fuck's that? Glowinski fucking sucks. So I think the Cardinals are going to take this one. The Giants suck.
What
Tried
concerns
to
me?
tell you, the Giants suck.
What concerns me is Gannon did really have a great game plan last week. I will say that much. And the
Dialing up
fact-
some crazy blitzes.
That's exactly what I was about to say. The way that they got pressure wasn't just my guy's better than yours. It was running a lot of stunts. It was sending blitzes. It was giving the offense different looks. It was a very impressive week 1. That concerns
He
me.
pulled out all the stops.
He did, and that concerns me. But again, show your fucking character this week, New York Giants. Show
Characters,
you're not
but they
bums.
Suck.
Show
And
you're
they
not
are
bums.
Darren Waller, prove you're LeBron James. Come on. Let's go.
I really can't believe they compared him to LeBron James.
But also, I will say one thing: Arizona didn't have to worry about a run game. Now they do, in my personal opinion. That changes things. That changes things a little bit. All right, next up, we have the Los Angeles Rams coming off a very surprising Week 1 performance against the San Francisco 49ers, who looked like arguably the most dominant football team in the entire league. So currently, the 49ers are 7-point road favorites. And I think there's good reason to that. I think the 49ers win this game pretty handily.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'm taking the 49ers in this game.
I agree. 49ers look like they were unstoppable against the Steelers. I think they're going to prove it again this week against the Rams.
The 49ers are just better.
Yeah.
The 49ers are just better. I agree.
It's kind of just point blank.
That's
what it
point
is.
blank, period. Yeah, you don't even got to break
I
it
didn't
down.
even think the Rams were going to win last week. I'm so surprised they're even 1-0.
Shout out Puka.
Shout out.
Shout out Puka. I love, bro, he has such a cool name.
Is George Kittle back? Or is he still dealing with stuff?
He was playing
George
last
Kittle
week.
was playing last week, but
He didn't really see the ball much, though.
he dealt with a slight injury. I think he's just a guy that I don't expect to practice all that much because he's always going to be fucking banged up in some way, shape, or form. So,
They're just going to throw him out on game day and say, good luck.
Yeah.
all right, Dean. Speaking of throwing people out on game day and saying good luck, your New York Jets travel to Dallas as the biggest underdogs of the week, might I add. 9.5-point dogs.
Deservedly deservedly given to the New York Jets. As great as it felt for the New York Jets to win on Monday Night Football after the roller coaster of emotions that was that entire night, the New York Jets are going to get demolished this Sunday. Zach Wilson's going to actually get sacked 10 times. He's going to crumble under pressure. He might throw 4 picks.
Yo, the Cowboys
agree.
could be the first team to start the season with 2 40-0 blowouts.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to
honestly.
put 40 points up on the Jets. There's no way this defense gives up 40 points.
Well, the thing is, we
the
didn't
Jets
give up
offense.
we didn't give up 40
Yeah,
points.
the Jets
Dean.
offense might give.
We
40
didn't give
points.
up 40 points. Dean. We didn't give up
Zach
40
Wilson
points.
better brush up on his tackling.
Oh, boy.
So Zach Wilson, there was a quote where he was like, "I'm gonna do my best Aaron Rodgers impression." Something like
Jesus.
that. And I'm like, Zach, just shut up, dude. You're setting yourself up right now. Stop talking, man.
You know,
please.
there's a redemption arc here, though. Zach has the opportunity because, look, last year everyone was rooting for this man to fail. This season, we want to see him.
I think
prove
everybody.
the world
I think everybody
wrong.
wants him to see him.
Yes,
Wants to see him do well.
We want to see him do well now.
Yeah.
He's not going to, but we want to
But
see
how
him
do you
do
know?
well.
How do you know,
Bro,
There's
it's
the- there's
Dallas.
the slightest
it's
of
Dallas.
chances.
It's Dallas, bro. Not this
No, yeah, I
game.
don't-
Not this
No,
game.
I think.
How do you know?
I think he can prove the world wrong this season.
He has a little bit.
Sunday? No.
He has a little bit of momentum with him.
Nah.
He
Not
don't
against
got
the Cowboys.
shit.
Why? They just won.
Xavier Gibson has momentum with him.
That defense does, dude.
I
The
don't know.
defense could score for us too. He doesn't even need to score.
Yeah,
the
but
defense
it's
could put up
it's
2
Nah,
different.
touchdowns.
Zach's
That
gonna have
Dallas
to have a good
offense is
game.
way better than fucking whatever you guys are throwing out there. Just saying.
Do you think the Dallas offense is better than the Jets defense? That's not true.
That's not what I fucking said.
What'd you say?
Whatever you guys are throwing out there on offense.
Oh,
It's clearly
bro.
fucking better.
Well, yeah, we have the worst quarterback in the league
So
starting.
which one has a superior offense?
The Cowboys.
Which one has a superior defense?
The Cowboys.
Okay.
But
But who has more heart?
The
The Cowboys.
Yeah.
that's not true. That's not true.
How do you measure it?
Did you watch what happened on Monday night? We lost
did.
our franchise quarterback in the first 4 minutes, and we still beat the Josh Allen
was
Bills.
that was some
I saw it. That
fucking
was
heart.
crazy.
That was dogging them right
The
there.
Cowboys beat the,
The Jets-
Giants
the
by
Jets could've
40.
folded.
That's hard. On the road.
That's
on
not
opening
hard.
Or
night.
was it lack of heart from the other side?
I think it takes heart
The
to 40
Jets could have
piece a team.
folded and given
No,
up.
they could. We gave them credit. We did that already on
Okay.
Tuesday. This is
All right.
this is
I'm
the
taking
Cowboys.
the Jets.
This is the Cowboys versus
No,
Jets.
you're not.
Yes, I am. Taking the Jets.
17 no
You
seed.
want to put money on it?
How much?
Whoa.
No, not doing
How much you want to put on
20.
it? All right. Deal.
That's
20?
a horrible idea. Why would you
20?
do that?
No.
20?
No.
10.
Why him? Why
Let's
him?
get it. Because I said it.
Yeah, he brought it up. I'm a Jet fan. I'm not going to bet against my team, guys.
Oh.
You didn't have to bet at all.
Thanks for the
Yeah,
donation.
you didn't have to bet. Yeah, this is
Thanks
actually,
for the
this is actually a
donation.
free
You
segment
could
that
have
we
sat
do.
there, said Jets win, and not spent any money.
Yeah,
It's too late now. We
Go
should.
ahead, Chris. Who you got?
The Cowboys.
Okay.
I'm taking the Cowboys.
Oh boy.
I guess
All
I'll
right,
take the Cowboys.
Here we go. we have the Washington Commanders traveling to Denver. They are currently 3.5-point underdogs, and I don't know. I don't know.
I'm taking the Broncos. I think Mr. Bathroom is going to show out this week at home. The Commanders didn't look as good as we thought they would against the Cardinals. I'm taking the Broncos. I think they're going to have a better season than last season. And
Who's we? What? You said the Commanders didn't look as good as we thought they would. Who's we?
all right, I guess the Cardinals look better
The
than we thought they
fans.
would. Sorry.
I don't know
Wrong-
what people.
wrong way. But
I thought the Commanders were going to blow the
I don't know
Cardinals
what
out,
people
to
were
be fair.
expecting. The Commanders have pretty much a new starting quarterback, a new offensive coordinator.
Yeah, but it's the Cardinals.
all right, but that's why I think the Broncos are going to win.
No, I know that
Yeah.
that it's the Cardinals, but like they're integrating a whole bunch of new stuff. It's week 1. They were never going to smoke them. They were never going to smoke them.
Surprisingly enough, I think the Broncos win this. I mean, the Commanders win this game.
Really?
Yep.
I'm taking the Broncos. And I think Mile High has a lot of competitive advantage as a home team. I think teams actually struggle going in there, like literally being able to breathe.
Yeah,
I think that Russell Wilson and Sean Payton, I think they come up with a good game plan. I think they get things done this week for sure.
I think Jahan Dotson has a big time fucking game tomorrow.
He might, but they still
on
lose.
Sunday. I really do. And I think the defense just absolutely obliterates Russell Wilson. So that's who I'm taking.
Dean brought some good points. I'm gonna go with the Broncos. I do have them somehow making the playoffs in my twisted world. So I do think this is the get back game for them. First game at home. I think they're gonna be really good at home this season. So
In your twisted world.
my
Twisted
twisted world.
Yeah, it's a toss-up this game. The Broncos probably do have an advantage because they're at home, and I think I'm going to lean that way. I want to take the Commanders, obviously, but it's tough. I think the Commanders' defense will give Russ some problems. I also think the Broncos' defense could give Sam Howell some problems. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Broncos, but it's a toss-up.
All right, next up. Chris's Miami Dolphins travel to New England to face the Patriots, and the Patriots are 3-point underdogs at the current moment. I'm going to take the Pats.
Wow.
I'm going to take the Pats. I think they upset. I know the Dolphins are riding high. I think the Patriots do everything they can to take Tyreek Hill out of the game. I think they have enough to make life difficult on Jalen Waddle, to make life difficult on Tua. Divisional opponent, always a tough game. Mac Jones looked a lot better than I thought he would last week, and the offense looked a lot better. I think they get the running game going this week against a bad Miami rush defense. And I think the Patriots pull one out at home.
I just can't go against the Dolphins after last week. Tua
Smart,
put up
man.
466 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Against
Tyreek
the
put up
horrible
215
secondary.
yards. I can't go
A
against them.
terrible secondary.
I thought
I'm
the secondary
going
wasn't
the
bad
Dolphins.
a little while ago.
No, that is the bad part of their
If
defense
there's
now.
anybody
That's the
who
thing.
I'm trusting to stop somebody like that, it's Bill Belichick.
Agreed.
I agree with that.
I think the Patriots
but-
looked good against the Eagles. I wouldn't doubt them winning that game. And I'm actually going to take the Patriots.
Let's go, Dean.
Let's ride.
It's going to be a really good game, but like Trunk said, it's hard to not take the run the Dolphins run after one game. Tua throwing for almost 500 yards and Tyreek Hill going for over 200, I think is something that is going to continue. I think Tyreek is going to prove more dominant.
But this
He's
is
gonna be-
I will
this
say
is
I
what
don't think that's going to happen again.
we knew.
Not
He's
even
only-
close.
he's
knew
going
how
for
electric
300.
the Dolphins' offense. We knew this was going to
Yep.
happen. This isn't a
Agreed.
surprise.
No, we
He's
didn't
not
say
saying
we
he's
didn't say it
surprised.
was.
not
All
saying
he's
it's
saying is
surprised.
he's picking the
but I'm-
Dolphins to win the game.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is I'm not going to pick them every week because that's the reason. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
I
I
just
think
I mean,
if there's-
that's the
if there
reason
was-
they will win games.
If there was
because their
ever a
offense is
defense, but if
electric.
there was ever a defense that I think can stop that,
That's what I'm saying.
And then
yeah.
I did not expect the Patriots offense to look that good, which was very surprising to me personally. And it's a great sign for them in the future, especially with how good their defense looked. I think this is the team that could scheme against Tyreek Hill.
I mean, yeah, like you said, it is a division matchup, so I won't be surprised if the Patriots do come out and win, but I think the Dolphins are a better football team on paper, and I think they're going to win.
Kendrick Bourne, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to, an elite offense versus an elite defense. I think, we could shit on the Dolphins defense all we want. I don't think they're going to have much of a problem with this Patriots offense. I know they looked good in week 1, but that shit's not sustainable. The Patriots offense isn't going to be one of the better offenses in the league. But I don't really think the Patriots are going to have an answer for Tyreek Hill. I know you could scheme against him all you want. Bill Belichick is definitely the guy I would trust to do so, but it's fucking Tyreek Hill, it's Jalen Waddle, and it is Tua Tagovailoa. I'm going with the Dolphins here.
I don't know, man. I have the whole AFC East finishing 1-1 after this week.
Yeah, it's gonna be a mix-up over there.
Actually, no, you have the Jets
The
going
Jets are 2-0.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah, you
doesn't.
do.
He doesn't.
No.
He doesn't.
The Jets
Dean
2-0.
just be saying shit on this podcast that he doesn't believe in.
I believe it, bro. It's my.
He has no faith in his conviction. It's okay. You could say that. You don't trust anything you say after time.
That's not true. That's not true.
Yeah, just most of the time.
I just bet on it. I just put money on it.
Yeah, but you didn't mean to put money on it. You just put him on
But
the
I
spot.
did. I shook his hand.
No, because your heart was too invested in this. Too invested.
That's not
I
possible.
took advantage.
You put your money where
Yeah,
your
he
heart
took-
was, which is never a smart idea.
No, that's not. You're right.
All right. So
Let's
next
go,
up,
Jack.
we have the Carolina Panthers at home against the New Orleans Saints. Panthers did not look so great. They're currently 3-point
We
underdogs
got 2
at
Monday
home.
night games
yeah.
Yes, we do.
at the
Why?
same time.
Yeah.
That's so strange.
Well, an hour start time separated,
They're
but
gonna
yeah,
be
they'll be playing
playing
at the same time.
That is probably going to happen. Yeah.
But anyways, I'm taking the Saints. They have a very easy start to the schedule. The Panthers didn't look amazing in week 1, and I think Derek Carr is a big day.
Honestly, I'm glad there's 2 games because that Saints-Panthers game isn't doing it for me. I'm just not excited for it at all.
I'm also taking the Saints. Honestly, I was thinking of maybe taking the Saints in the survival pool too. I think this is an easy win for them. I agree. I think Derek Carr is gonna have a big day. I don't think the Panthers look great. Yeah, taking the Saints.
I'm gonna take the Panthers. I like the way Brian Burns looked. I like what I saw out of Bryce Young. He looked versatile. He looked like a good quarterback. I know he made a couple bonehead decisions early on. He made the same mistake twice in a row, but I think he looked good. I think their running game looked okay. Their receivers need separation.
It's no fucking receivers,
That's
bro.
kind of. I think that'll turn around. I don't think Adam Thielen's gonna be as bad this next coming week.
Bro, he's old and not good at football anymore. What do you
Yeah, but
what do we
But the
expect?
Saints defense really isn't all that. So
It's been very good.
So I think I'm gonna take the Panthers this week.
Okay.
I'm gonna rock with the Saints.
You said the Saints?
I'm going to take the Saints. I think they established the running game against the Panthers, and that was something they clearly did not do last week.
Okay. Okay. Last game of the week, the divisional matchup. The Pittsburgh Steelers are at home as 2.5-point underdogs against the Cleveland Browns. The Steelers did not look good in week 1. They didn't.
They played the Niners though.
They did. Pickett was off.
Yeah, I'm not
They
putting.
played
too
a
much
great
into it.
pass rush.
I think this is gonna be a good game.
I think
do.
Myles Garrett's gonna wreck
I
havoc.
think it's gonna be a close game. But that being said, I'm gonna take the Browns.
I still think, I think I'm gonna take the Browns.
Yeah,
as
they
well.
looked really good last week. I don't think the Steelers are going to be able to beat them. I will say I don't think they're going to look as bad as they did last week against the Niners, though. I think Kenny Pickett's going to have a good game. I think the whole offense is going to have a good game, honestly. I think it's going to be a close one.
No Deontay Hurts.
Yeah. But
And Fryermuth has been questionable all week. I don't know. I definitely think the Browns win this game.
Yeah.
Pretty handily, honestly. Fortunately.
The Browns and the Ravens both going 2-0. I have the Browns winning this game.
Nice. I have the Browns taking this game too. I'd still like to see more out of Deshaun Watson going forward, for sure. I think that I agree with Trunks. I think the Steelers play better. Obviously, they're versing the Browns rather than the 49ers. So I think Kenny Pickett's gonna
Browns
have more of a
defense
chance
is legit.
he's gonna have more of a chance to play well. But yeah, I think Myles Garrett, like you said, gonna wreak havoc. I think Nick Chubb's gonna be too much for that Pittsburgh defense. And I think Deshaun Watson's gonna be able to do just enough to win.
I'm gonna go with the Steelers here. At home, Monday Night Football divisional game. They got embarrassed last week, so I think they're looking for some revenge.
there
All
it
right.
is.
Nice.
There we go. There's our
A lot of divisional
picks
games.
for week 2. A lot of divisional games. I don't think I've seen this many home underdogs, if I'm being entirely honest. Almost every fucking game here has a home underdog. So, kind of crazy.
I wonder if you'd make money if you bet on all of them.
Try it.
If you would bet on all of them?
Yeah.
Just use
The
the
fuck do you mean if you would make money?
Put $10 on each one. Wonder if you'd win.
Oh.
use
don't
the
know.
make a
free
profit.
use the free $20 Dean just gave you and just throw it on something.
Yeah.
That's a great point, honestly. All right. Anyways, speaking of throwing money around, we do that on a weekly basis here
Yeah, we do.
with the ball game bets. Oh fuck! I ruined it. I stole
Yeah,
your
this guys,
thunder.
this is ball game bets. Yeah, whatever. I guess it's the one thing that I get to do. Okay, you talk the whole time, bud. Congrats,
Bud.
jeez. All right, so for this week's ball game bets, I have Anthony Richardson with 43.5 rushing yards over against the Houston Texans. I have Jordan Love to get over 219.5 passing yards, and I have Kyle Pitts to have over 34.5 receiving yards.
I just had a stroke. For this week, I have Michael Pittman Jr. to go over 50.5 receiving yards.
Definitely not senior.
Yeah. I got Jamar Chase over 79.5 receiving yards, and I got Mike Evans over 51.5 rushing and receiving yards. I don't know why it's rushing and receiving yards, but it is. That's all they had.
I have Josh Allen over 256.5 passing yards. I have Daniel Jones over 207.5 passing yards. And I have Nick Chubb over 75.5 rushing yards.
I have Keenan Allen's over on 68.5 yards. I have Bijan's over at 75.5 rushing and receiving yards. And I have Calvin Ridley's over on rushing and receiving yards at 68.5.
I have Drake London under 49.5 receiving yards. Saquon over 72.5 rushing yards. And my GOAT, Sam Howell, over 199.5 passing yards.
Solid.
Dean, can you say this is BallGame bets again?
Yes, please.
Happily.
This is ball game bets.
Nice.
Okay.
Perfect.
Cool. That note, I'm going to work.
So you two are going to get going, right? Okay.
We have to make money, guys, outside of our bets.
Which you guys haven't hit, I don't
I was
think.
about to say, because we don't make money off our bets because we suck.
That's why
I
still
think
have
I'm
to
the
do
only
this.
one that has hit one so far, correct?
They have to make money so that we can make more bets.
Yeah.
Once we lose it all.
Yeah, so you guys could lose more money.
Mm-hmm.
To you, especially, because he just likes to throw it around on Cowboys.
Yeah.
I mean, on the Jets.
Yeah, he does.
All right. Can you get through? Tubby?
We should make a transition for this.
Transition. Oh,
We haven't done the NBA in a little while. The last time was our other tier list. Which are the power forwards in the center.
yeah.
So I'm excited for this. Small forwards is a loaded position after looking over all the names on this stuff. So I'm actually
loaded.
very excited for this one. And it's our first time doing the NBA since then. Very excited. Season's coming up very soon, so we have some stuff coming up on the NBA. So
Woohoo.
stay tuned for that.
Excited.
Without further ado, we jump straight into our small forward tier list.
Yes, so the tiers are superstar, all-star, above average, average, and ass. What do you think I'm lying to?
No, I just wanted to double check.
All right, first up, AJ Griffin.
Yo, your mic's off. There you go.
First up, AJ Griffin.
Put him in average.
I'd put him in average.
Average.
Yeah, he's a good shooter, solid defender, you know.
All right, so I included the rookies on this tier
I
list.
don't know why you did.
Probably just put them all in average, right?
You kind of
Like
have no
by
choice.
default.
No, I'm just gonna put
Or you
them
just
at
put 'em at the bottom.
end of the list, and
Could do that
just
too.
Not gonna rank them.
All right,
That makes
that's
sense.
fair.
I mean, it's hard to do a tier list on rookies
On
based
rookies.
on last season.
True.
To be fair, we did do Victor.
Victor's
You did.
different. Victor's different.
Are we going to do Scoot?
No,
Okay.
Okay.
So it's just Victor.
just Victor,
There's glazing Victor.
Yeah, pretty much.
as we should.
As we should. Yeah, you know. All right.
All right, next up, Harrison Barnes.
Top
Solid.
of average.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, he's better than AJ
He's
Griffin.
better than AJ
He's right
Griffin.
above average. Next up, we have
Bojan Bogdanovic.
Bojan Bogdanovic.
Above average, I think. He's better than the two
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah, he's
Shot
definitely
almost
above average.
50.
Yeah,
40,
he's a
90 last year.
ridiculous scorer, and he tries hard on defense, so we give him that.
He does. All right, next up, our glorious king, Labubu James.
He goes straight in
exactly
ass.
what I was gonna say.
Straight in
I was
fucking
gonna
ass.
say my glorious king.
Straight into ass.
So beautiful.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's a superstar. Come on, I don't even think that needs an explanation.
Nah.
All right, next up, we have Bruce Brown.
So I personally think he's better than AJ Griffin and Harrison Barnes.
I'm personally putting him in above average.
I would consider putting him in above average.
No.
No, I think he'd end at the bottom of
I
above average.
agree.
though. I don't think he's going to be like at the top of it.
I say we put him in
He's
above average for
The
now.
top of that, bro. He's not the same tier of player as Bojan.
I feel like he proved he was last season.
He was great, especially in the playoffs.
Bojan's a guy who averaged like 20 points on like almost 50, 40, 90.
But Bruce does everything.
He does do
Like
everything.
literally
He's
everything.
a role player.
He's the best.
So
role
is
player.
Bojan. Bojan's not anything more than a role player. Let's not get that twisted.
I guess we could put him above.
We could
average.
change it if
I don't
we need
think
to.
Bruce Brown is above. They're not in the same tier of player.
Maybe we'll change it as this list goes on.
As I said, we can
But-
always revise it as we go,
The
but
list is fluent.
agreed.
Okay, so next up is Caleb Martin.
I think he's in the top of average.
Harrison Barnes.
I
is
think
better
Harrison
than
is better than
Caleb
him.
Martin.
I definitely think Harrison Barnes is better than Caleb Martin.
I just feel like
Even though Caleb was really good in the playoffs.
that's what I was about. Yeah,
Well, one series specifically, but
I wouldn't mind putting him behind
Harrison Barnes is proven, man. He's done this for a while now.
He has.
He's a bucket. He almost hit that game winner in the playoffs, but missed.
He did miss.
That would have been crazy against Golden State. Oh my God.
All right, I don't mind putting him behind Harrison Barnes.
Next up, who we got?
Next up is Cam Johnson.
I think he's above Bruce Brown. A debate between he and Bojan.
I think Bojan's better than Cam Johnson.
I think
I
they're very
agree.
similar.
Honestly, I would have said Cam's behind Bruce Brown.
I think he's better
Personally.
than
better
Bruce
than
Brown.
Bruce Brown.
Yeah, we could put him in the middle.
I'll keep him in the middle. Yeah, that's fine. I'll live with that.
All right, next up, Daniel House.
Put him in S.
Yeah.
He don't belong no higher.
Sixers just didn't have any small forwards.
Yeah. Next up is DeAndre Hunter.
So I feel like the idea of DeAndre Hunter is sometimes a lot better than the player of DeAndre Hunter.
A lot better.
I think I'd still take him over Harrison Barnes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd put him top of average.
Top of average.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
That almost makes me want to move Bruce Brown down.
That's what I'm saying. There's not a tier gap between Bruce Brown and DeAndre Hunter.
So
Bruce
I'm
Brown's
down with
probably
that.
the better player,
He is the better player,
but
but
there's not a tier
yeah,
gap.
yeah, I'm with you on that. Okay.
Next up is Denny Avia.
So he's an elite defender. One of the best in the league. Not yet figuring out the jump shot. Solid playmaker.
I personally, I think
He's
I'm
better than Caleb, I think. I'd take him over Caleb,
I
in my
was-
personal opinion.
gonna say I'm gonna put him right behind Harrison Barnes, right in front of Caleb.
That works.
That's fine. I'm cool with that.
Cool.
Next up, DeMar DeRozan. He goes
All-star.
right.
He goes
into
an all-star. Yeah,
Next
that's
up,
simple.
the man, the myth, the legend,
Okay.
Dylan Brooks.
Ass.
Okay,
Remember,
stop
he dropped,
that.
He's a superstar.
We got to stop
I know.
that
I know.
shit.
He's good.
dropped 40.
He went
All
fucking
America.
nuts on USA.
He did, bro. He went so crazy on USA that Braun picked up the phone and said, "Nah, you ain't doing that next year to my country."
Shut up,
He
Trunks.
did. Literally that day, he said,
All right.
"I want to play for Team USA next
With
season."
that being said, I'm debating whether he's better than DeAndre Hunter, Harrison Barnes, Denny Avdia.
I'm
I just,
putting-
in my
yeah.
head, I just don't know.
I'm personally putting him right behind Bruce Brown.
So am I.
Okay, yeah, I'm down. I'm so
And
fine
I think
with
there
that.
is a real case he could be above Bruce
I
Brown.
agree. I never.
I think
understood the
honestly,
hate.
I
would-
hate the hate on
Honestly,
Dylan
I
Brooks.
would put him above Bruce Brown, actually. now that think
I
about it.
disagree.
I
'Cause I
disagree
think
with
Bruce
that.
is a very close defender. Granted, not
he's
quite
not.
on that. Yes, he is. He's a damn
No,
good
he's
defender.
not. Dylan Brooks was a fucking All-NBA defender.
As
Stop.
I said, he is not far off from Dylan Brooks in terms of
Bruce
being
Brown
a defender.
isn't an All-NBA defender. He'll never fucking sniff a fucking
more of a-
all-defensive team in his fucking life. Dylan Brooks is probably going to fucking have multiple all-defensive teams.
Bruce Brown is an amazing system defender. I think Dylan Brooks,
and-
anywhere he goes, he is.
And don't get
A
it
great
wrong, like
defender.
Bruce Brown offers a lot different things on offense where I think Bruce Brown's definitely the better offensive player, but
He's clearly the better
Defen- like,
offensive
what's-
player.
What's defense, Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks is
clear-
clearly, yes,
Clear
I
cut.
agree, but I don't think it's that far. I don't
No,
think
when it's
the
a
biggest
clearing,
gap.
it's far off. Like like it's not a conversation. It's not. Oh, I think Bruce Brown. You can make the argument he's a better.
No,
there's
no. I'm not making the
Right,
argument
so then
for him.
how close it is doesn't fucking matter. Dylan Brooks is a better defender. He's an All NBA level defender.
I still don't think he's better than Bruce overall as a player.
That's fine. But don't bring up defense as your argument for.
I was
why
just saying, I
think-
think the difference in Bruce Brown defensively to Dylan Brooks is less than the difference in Bruce Brown offensively than Dylan Brooks offensively from Bruce Brown. That's what I
don't know.
think.
I don't even think Dylan Brooks is that bad offensively. He's obviously a shot chucker, but like
That's a problem.
sometimes they go in.
At a 38% clip.
It's not horrible.
That
All right,
as a field goal percentage?
Oh, I thought you were talking from three.
No.
Yeah,
You shot like 30% from three last year.
Nah,
All right, next up, Luke Stewart.
Mr. Lou.
Above Denny? Above HB?
I'm putting him above DeAndre Hunter.
No,
No,
no. I'd put him behind Harrison Barnes, in front of Denny in that average tier. I don't think Lou Dort's better than Harrison Barnes.
I don't know.
I feel like he had a better season, no?
No, Harrison was good.
I
I'd
mean,
keep him
Lou
below.
Dort was also good.
I would
don't know.
personally keep
I mean,
him
I'm-
below Harrison Barnes
I'm fine with that.
because I like that Harrison Barnes can stretch the floor far better than
That's fine.
Lou Dort.
All right, next up, Franz Wagner.
I'll be honest. I'm not against throwing him
I'm putting him.
definitely at the top of above average right now. Is he
I
the same
was-
tier of player as DeMar DeRozan? No,
No.
but
I was honestly gonna say behind Bojan.
no.
No,
But I'm
no,
fine with putting him above
no,
Bojan.
no.
I'm fine with putting him above Bojan.
I think he
Bojan.
clears everyone else that's going to be an average, if I'm being entirely honest. Above average. That's that. If I'm being
Yeah,
honest.
he's the top of above average. He's
That's
not
fine.
an all-star level player.
I want to see
yet.
who else we put in All Star. So
All right, next up, Gordon Hayward.
if we're talking a healthy Gordon Hayward, which I want to grade, when he's on the floor, he's in above average.
Agreed. But last season,
I don't think he was particularly bad
wasn't
last
bad.
season.
He wasn't
just
bad.
Didn't really play.
He was good. When he played, he was good, as
Yeah.
per usual. That seems to be the trend with Gordon Hayward. I don't want to grade the guy based on the fact that he's injured. I want to grade the player based on what he is when he's out there.
all right.
And I think he's better than Cam Johnson.
Agreed. Yeah.
I don't think he's better than Cam Johnson.
No.
I don't.
Well, it's 2-1.
I think both of them. Okay, I won't even make my case.
No,
It's
go
2-1.
ahead. I want to hear it.
Doesn't matter. It's
Make your
2-1.
case.
Herb Jones.
Well, he's below him right now.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Herb Jones. Herb
Top of
Jones.
average,
Okay.
Yeah.
He's better than Bruce Brown.
in my personal opinion.
Why?
I put him behind Bruce Brown.
Why is he better than Bruce Brown?
He's the best defender on this list.
I guess.
He's the best defender on this list, and he's a better offensive player than Dylan Brooks. Just given the fact that he doesn't chuck shots,
Herb
he plays his
Jones
role.
is a better offensive player than Dylan Brooks.
Given the fact that, as I
Is
just said,
That's a crazy
as I just said,
statement,
given the
though.
fact that he doesn't shot chuck, he plays his role on offense. That's it. He doesn't just chuck shots. Dylan Brooks doesn't realize that he's not all that good on off. Is he a better offensive player if, he played his role? Yes, I completely agree. But he doesn't. He doesn't do that. He plays like an idiot. He plays like he's a number 2 option on a championship level team, which he's not. So I think Herb Jones, and plus he's the best defender, as I said, on this list. So
All right, Brandon Ingram, all-star behind.
BI
DeMar
is
DeRozan.
above DeMar DeRozan for me.
I'm also putting BI above DeMar DeRozan.
I would put him above DeMar DeRozan, but based on last year, we really can't do that.
Again, as I said, I don't want to grade the guy based on the fact that he got injured. That sucks. Because when he was on the floor, Brandon Ingram was insane.
I mean, not for the entirety of the season.
No, of course, the end of the year.
Struggled a
The end of the
lot.
year, he was playing. Fuck.
I mean, based on last season, we have to put DeMar DeRozan ahead
Yeah,
of Brandon Ingram.
That's fine.
I like Brandon Ingram more. No, I love.
I think
Brandon
he's the
Ingram. That's
far,
my guy.
not far better player, but I think he's the better player.
Mhm.
But all right, that's fair.
All right, next up, J Dub. Put him above average, right ahead of Gordon Hayward.
I was gonna say above average, below Gordon Hayward or Cam Johnson right now. Personally, but right there, I don't know. It's tough for
I
me.
think based off last season, he's above Gordon Hayward.
Me as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, Jeremy Grant.
Jeremy Grant is a
Put him right above Bojan.
he's above Bojan. Definitely not better than Franz.
There he goes. Jimmy Butler, superstar.
Superstar
Behind LeBron.
Behind LeBron.
Cool.
Josh Hart.
I think bottom of above average. Personally,
I personally think Josh Hart's average.
I think he's top. I think top of average.
okay.
Personally.
All right. Yeah, I mean either way, bottom above, top of average. I'm
Yeah.
cool with it.
All right, next up, Kawhi.
He's above
He's below Jimmy.
when he's on.
Jimmy just led the Heat to the finals.
Shut
He
the
did
fuck
lead
up,
the
bro.
Heat to the
Shut the fuck
finals.
up.
Jimmy
Stop
just
it.
led the Heat to the
Stop
finals.
it, bro. Stop it. No.
I'm serious.
Don't even.
Why?
No. I would argue he's at the top of superstar right now. When he's on the floor,
If Jimmy led the Heat to the finals is going to be our argument, then we do have to put Jimmy ahead of LeBron.
Whoa! Oh
I disagree
my
with that.
God, that's horrible.
I'm not saying we have to do that. I'm just saying if Jimmy took the Heat to the finals, is going to be our argument for why
Then
Jimmy's better
LeBron
than
didn't do
Kawhi.
it. Yeah, I guess.
Then we have to put Jimmy ahead of LeBron too.
No, Kawhi's above Jimmy.
All right.
If you guys
fine.
don't want to put him above LeBron, that's fine. But I would personally put him above LeBron.
We could put him behind LeBron.
That's fine. All right, next up, Keegan Murray. Put him right behind Bruce Brown. Honestly, I'd put him behind Dylan Brooks,
I agree with you.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Would you really?
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks was an all-NBA defender.
No, I'm not disagreeing. Keegan's just 44% from
He
three.
was a great shooter.
Solid enough defender right now. I like him above both. Nah, just Dylan Brooks, but that's fair. I get it. I understand if you don't.
Are you putting him above Dylan Brooks or below?
I'd put him
Bro.
above.
Below.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Keldon Johnson. This is a tough one to rank.
He is tough. I'd say bottom of above average personally. But I can see people putting him below Dylan Brooks and Keegan Murray. I just personally would have him at the bottom of above average. I think he's a really good player. And it's just the fact that he's putting up the numbers on a bad Spurs team, which could go both ways.
Yeah, I don't mind just throwing him at the end of above average.
That's cool with me.
I think that's fine. All right, next up, Kyle Kuzma.
I think he's above
Kuzma.
Bojan. And
I
honestly,
think he's above Jeremy Grant.
I'd put him above Jeremy Grant too, yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
above
Below
Jeremy
Franz.
Grant, so. Next up, slow-mo Kyle Anderson, my hero.
Right below, I want to say, Dylan Brooks.
I'd probably take Keegan over slow-mo.
Yeah, probably.
I'll put him behind.
Maybe I'll
Keegan.
take Hunter over.
I'd take DeAndre Hunter over
Yeah.
slow-mo too. Right there, though.
Yes, agreed. That stops the slide. I'm thinking about Harrison Barnes as well, if that's what you were looking at.
That's what I'm looking at. I'd take Harrison Barnes over slow-mo too. It's up to you guys, though.
That's fine with me.
I'm with it.
Okay,
'Cause of his
right
shooting.
there, though. Right there. That's perfect. All right, next up, Cash Money Chris.
He's at the bottom of All-Star right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not much to really say.
He was great in the playoffs, in the games that they did play at least.
All right, Mikal Bridges.
Right above Chris Middleton, in my opinion.
Fuck, that one's tough. That one's difficult because Chris has shown us that he could be a number 2 on a championship team, and he's great. He was really good in the playoffs last year. As I said,
I wouldn't
he
mind
put it all
putting-
together.
I wouldn't mind putting McCall behind Chris Middleton.
I'd put him behind Chris Middleton personally.
All right.
Although I think this year that could change.
All right, next up, MPJ.
I'm putting him.
I'd take him above Bojan.
I'm taking him above Jeremy Grant, I think.
I'd have him below Bojan, personally.
I have him above
I think
Bojan.
Bojan's ability to create for himself off of the dribble is super valuable. He's obviously no one's the catch and shoot shooter that Michael Porter is. He's among one of the best in the league. But I think Bojan's right there. He's a great catch and shoot player, and he also has the ability to put it on the floor that MPJ probably doesn't have.
That's fair. I
So
think
I would
MPJ
take
showed me some defensive ability in the playoffs too that I didn't think he
MPJ
had.
had a terrible finals.
He
Yeah.
did. But overall in the Western Conference Finals, in terms of the series before that, he was good on defense.
I think Bojan
That's fine.
is definitely better
That's
than him.
then that's
in my
fair.
opinion.
I'll take that. I'm fine with that.
All right.
I think Bojan in that system would also be very successful.
OG Anunoby.
I take him above Jeremy Grant.
I don't think I do. I feel like the idea of OG is so much better than OG.
OG struggled offensively,
Yeah.
He was also asked to do too much creating, in my personal opinion.
but that's what everyone wanted for him.
But I don't. But you don't need that. You don't
But isn't
need to
that
do
what-
that.
The thing was with OG Anunoby, he's such a good defender, but once you give him these offensive responsibilities, he's going to put the world on notice, and he's going to be an all-star level player. And he got those offensive responsibilities, and he wasn't that good. He's a great defender.
But still, what he's great at, he's
yeah,
really
no,
great
he's a
at.
great defender, but OG Anunoby is who he is.
I
He's
still-
a 3-and-D player.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But I think Jeremy Grant is a glorified fucking 3-and-D player pretty much too, if I'm being entirely honest. I understand what everyone's saying about the shot creation ability, but like
OG is definitely a better defender than Grant, but I
Yes,
think Jeremy
100%.
Grant is such a better shot creator
He is.
okay. All right.
that I
fair.
would take Jeremy Grant over OG.
That's fair.
All right, next up, Josh Okogie.
Top of ass. Even though he was really fucking good on defense last year. But bro, I'm sorry. If Josh Okogie's your starting small forward,
Yeah, I'm
That's
cool
fine with me.
Top of ass. Isaac Okoro.
I'll put him mid-ass. I think behind Josh Kobe.
think I'd take him above Josh Okogie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, next up, PG. I'd probably put
I'm putting him above DeMar.
PG all the way at the
Yes,
top of all.
top of all
Yeah.
star, but not in superstar.
Cool.
All right, next up, RJ Barrett.
Above LeBron.
Oh, this is
All right.
difficult.
All right.
He's better than AJ Griffin.
He's in, bro.
He's better than Caleb
no,
Martin.
Stop, bro.
He's better than
Bro,
Denny.
he's an above average. Come on.
No,
Stop.
he's fucking
Bro.
not. Chakali.
Bro.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Bro,
I would put him in above average.
come on.
I wouldn't. as
You're
a Knicks
crazy.
fan.
That's insane.
I think I'd put him.
Below Keldon.
Behind Michael Porter Jr.
Below Keldon.
Behind Michael Porter Jr.
Below Keldon.
I'll put him right in the middle. Right,
Fuck.
Bro, he's better than Gordon Hayward.
right in
bro.
front of Gordon Hayward.
Is he?
Yes.
I'll put him right in front of Gordon Hayward. I think that's a good happy medium for him.
I don't think he's above average in the NBA.
That's crazy, bro.
Below Jalen Williams, ahead of Gordon Hayward. I think that's a good spot for RJ.
Fine.
Well, you disagree that you want him higher. You disagree that you want him lower. So I think the middle is
yeah,
the
yeah.
only spot we
You
can.
want
put
him higher than that, Trunks?
He said he wants him above MPJ.
That's insane.
I said behind MPJ.
Oh, so one spot higher.
Yeah.
I'd have him like 4 spots lower.
All right, next up, Scotty Barnes.
He's another difficult one
Behind
for
RJ.
me to rank. I'd take Scotty over RJ personally.
Based on last year, I'd probably take RJ over Scotty.
Wow.
I'd put him right
coming
behind
from
RJ.
Chris, that's crazy.
But RJ had a better year than Scotty
Yeah.
last year. I like Scotty Barnes, but I think RJ had a better year
Yeah,
last year.
it's tough.
RJ is just undeniable.
I don't want to hate on him, but
All right,
Me
next
too.
up, Jason Tatum.
Bottom
lower than
superstar.
Jimmy Butler. Yeah, because Jimmy beat him. So I just got to give the respect where it's due there. What are you thinking of above?
Nah, I just
Think he's an
Don't
all-star?
say all-star.
no.
Oh, okay.
No. I kind of, now that I'm thinking about it, kind of feel like Jimmy and Tatum both had better seasons than LeBron and Kawhi. No? Last year, the seasons they had?
I get it. Granted,
It feels weird to me putting Tatum 3 spots below LeBron. I think Tatum was better than LeBron last year. Is that like crazy?
I don't think it's crazy.
it's not
just-
crazy.
I know it's LeBron.
Because
like,
I look at it like this. Those 4 guys in the top tier, I don't think you could put it in a wrong order and I'd be mad at it. I just think overall, when they were at their peaks last season too, nonetheless, that is the order that I would put it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's fine. That makes sense. All right, next up, Tim Hardaway Jr.
He's either like
I'd put him
bottom of average, or top
average.
of ass.
Above AJ Griffin, but
Abo-
below Caleb Martin.
Perfect.
Fair. Cool.
All right, Trey Murphy the third.
I think he's
I'd put Trey Murphy right above RJ. Honestly, above Jalen Williams too. I think Trey Murphy was exceptional last
he
year.
was really good.
I think that's a good spot for him, right behind Michael Porter. ahead
I'd
of
argue
J-Dub.
I could put him above Michael Porter Jr. Even though MPJ won, like I get it, he won the final.
I'm
but,
not.
like,
Nah.
I would put him above MPJ. That's just my personal opinion.
I think he's below MPJ.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, next up, Andrew Wiggins.
Wiggs is above OG,
Above Jeremy Grant.
above Jeremy Grant,
Probably above,
Above
above
Kuzma.
Kuz. I'd keep him below Franz, in my personal opinion. but I think
Close.
that one's super close.
Yeah. All right. That's our small forward tier list.
We did
There it is.
Wow.
I don't think there's any changes that I would want to make to this. I actually really like it.
I do too.
I think it's a solid list. So I'm excited for the NBA season.
Me too.
I am. But NFL, bro, just love it. I'm just so happy. The football's here. NBA is coming soon. It's prime time for sports. Baseball playoffs are coming very soon. And it's the perfect time for sports. Fall is just the best time ever. So
Fall is where we ball.
please stop. Please stop. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Before we close this thing out, Chris, you want to do our?
No, I don't want to do it. Someone else can.
All right, go ahead, Trunks. Let's
I
hear
don't,
you.
I don't have a script.
You don't need a script. Well,
All right.
anyways, if you guys don't know already, SeatGeek is the best ticketing app on the entire market. You should already know that, but if you don't, be sure to inform yourself. SeatGeek grades each of their tickets on a scale of 1 to 10, with green being a good deal, red being a bad deal. Please be sure to use BallGame Pod on your first purchase with SeatGeek for $20 off. Again, that is on your first purchase, and that is code BallGamePod for $20 off. Big shout-outs to our sponsors over at SeatGeek. And then not only that, obviously our BallGame bets. Big shout-out to Thrive, as we always do. They are the hottest up-and-coming sports app on the entire market. Be sure to check them out. If you haven't already, use code BallGamePod for a $250 deposit, up to $250 deposit match on your first deposit. That is a free $250 if you feel like doing that. So, and you also typically get a free square after you register and stuff like that. So be sure to check all that stuff out. Stay on the lookout. They have some big things coming. They have competitions, a bunch of stuff that you could join and possibly win money. So completely worth it. But anyways, with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to check out all the other videos that we have come out with in this past week. Prior to that, whole lot of coverage of the NFL season and this new coverage of the NBA season. So with that,
Ball game.